Partnership on Aging, we're doing a presentation today for our School of Technology on Instagram. And I'm just popping into the chat a link to the slides presentation. That link enables anyone to view the slides presentation, so you're more than welcome to do that. And I will go back to sharing my screen. Okay, I gotta move the participant bubble here. So yeah, Instagram. I did a little sort of brief history just to share with folks. Instagram was the first form of social media that was specifically designed for use with a smartphone. Kevin Systrom, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, kind of came up with this idea. He is an aficionado of bourbons and whiskeys, and he wanted a way to feature his interests online. And he and Mike Krieger, again, I'm guessing on the pronunciation of that name, kind of came up with this idea of photo sharing geared specifically for a phone that combined with a social media element. And Instagram was born in September of 2010, was launched exclusively on iPhone. And by December of 2010, they had 1 million users. So it was just one of those kind of like right place, right time, really good idea. And it was a runaway success. They introduced the concept of hashtags in January 2011. So that's where you have the hash mark and then some kind of subject or saying or person, and it like links to any other content that has that hashtag. So you can follow a hashtag on Instagram and you'll always see, I follow certain dog breeds and I get posts about that have the hashtag for the dog breed, even if I don't particularly follow that person who's posting. So Android developed an app, well, Instagram developed an Android app in 2012. And then also that same year, Instagram was acquired by Facebook. So Kevin and Mike made out really, really well on their little idea. And by 2013, there were 100 million active monthly users on Instagram. And it's just continued to grow and grow and grow. You know, it is now a Facebook product and you'll see some overlap, but I still think it's a unique format because it's designed specifically to be used on a phone. So let's get into the meat of it. The main thing that you'll see when you open up the Instagram app on your phone is your home page. All of the pictures that I'm using in the presentation today are from my Instagram. So you can kind of see up here, this is my profile picture. And so it says my story and that little plus mark there, I could tap on that to add a story. We'll get to stories in a little bit further in the presentation, but just to kind of give you a layout, this first image here is the first thing in my feed at that given moment when I opened up the app. I follow the Cleveland Scene, so I see all of their postings in my feed. And if I swipe up on the screen from the bottom, that will enable me to scroll down through my feed, and I'll see all the posts from all the people that I follow that have posted since the last time I was on Instagram. So just kind of can scroll through there. Going to kind of give a little overview of the lay of the land. This is just the stuff from my phone. So that doesn't really have anything to do with Instagram on that top row there. This plus sign is a place where you can add content. That's why it's a plus sign. This enables me to, I can add a story or a reel or a post by tapping on the little plus. This heart up here shows me activity on my posts. and that includes comments. And then the little thought bubble with the little line here, the zigzag line, you may recognize that from Facebook Messenger. And that is what I would tap on if I wanted to direct message someone. Coming down to the bottom here, well, excuse me, let me stay on task. This row across here is the story row. As it said, your story, I could add to mine. But everyone that I follow that has a current story will be across this line here and have this sort of reddish to slightly rainbow circle around their profile picture. And that lets me know that they have an active story. So here's this post from Cleveland Scene. Underneath, you have your like heart. So you could tap on that heart, or you could tap in the middle of the picture and like it. The thought bubble is where you would tap if you want to make a comment about something that's going on there. And this little arrow, like a triangle, is how you would direct message someone with this post. We'll get to that. When you see these little bubbles here underneath the posting, that means that there's multiple images in this one post. And if you were to slide your finger to the left across the screen, you would see the other images. You also have a clue about that because up here in this little bubble on the image, it says 1 out of 10. There's 10 different images associated with this post, and you would just swipe across the screen to see the rest of them. Along this bottom row here is pretty much the rest of the navigation on Instagram. This little house indicates your home screen, where we are now, search, reels, shopping, and then always in the bottom right-hand corner, your individual profile. If you look closely, you'll see that's my same profile picture that's up here in the corner for my story, is also down here in the bottom row on the right-hand side. And if I tapped on that, I would go to my personal profile page. You also see it again here, my profile picture, because this is the comment area, and that's where it's asking me if I want to add a comment. So once you scroll all the way down through all the people who have posted since the last time that you've been on Instagram, all the people that you follow that have posted since the last time you've been on Instagram, you'll get down to this screen, this image on your screen, and it'll say you're all caught up with your check mark. So you've hit everybody. And if you want to go into older posts, you can click into that blue where it says view older posts. So that's kind of how the homepage works. Once you tap onto your little icon here in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll go to your own personal page. You find out here how many posts an individual you have how many followers. If I were to tap on that, I would see all the people who follow me. And you see that I'm following 75 people. You can put anything here. This is the bio space. You can kind of write whatever you want in there. I've chosen to just have these little emojis to kind of give you a little glimpse of my life. And I'm indicating that my pronouns are she, her. This bio section is just whatever anybody wants to put in. That's all you. And then you can see a couple of my posts here. I do mostly, nature photography. It's a little hobby for me on my Instagram. Occasionally I throw up a Bible verse, but that's the beginning of my feed. If I were to swipe up from the bottom of the phone, that would scroll down through my personal posting feed. And you can go to anyone's profile that has a public profile. And you would be able to see all of their posts. You would basically see all this same thing, but for that other individual. I want to draw your attention to the overflow menu here up in the upper right-hand corner. If you all have been to some of the other classes, you know I was always pointing out about the overflow menu, more information. So if I tap on that, my screen changes a little bit and you can see settings, always your best friend if you're trying to navigate or change something on your setup with any kind of app. So that's where that is. And then some other things. My credit card information could be stored there. You would see if I had any pending orders, all the posts that I've saved. everything, all those different things that kind of tethered to my personal account. I want to point out, and please forgive me, sometimes when I take a screenshot on my phone, that the volume bubble pops up, so I apologize for that. But when you click on this little plus arrow from your profile page, you see this screen here, and it's giving you an option to do a couple different things. Make a post, that's like one of these pictures or the Bible verse that I have up. Making a reel, which is a short video, a story, which is similar to a post, but it only lasts for 24 hours. You can highlight a story and kind of pin it to your profile. You see that here, story highlights. I haven't done that. I don't do stories as much, just not my thing. But you could highlight some of your stories and kind of keep them here if you wanted. IGTV is a new feature on Instagram where they've really kind of made a platform for people to be able to have a little mini show. You can post longer video segments there. I think anything, I don't know what the cutoff time is. Generally, the video clips tend to be shorter in the main feeds, but then if you want to go in and watch the extended IGTV video, you could click on it and then you can go into a longer video segment there. But people can publish all their own content, similar to the way they can on YouTube, but it's just through Instagram's platform. So it's a nice way for people to kind of self-publish their content if they're interested, or someone else's. You can also share other people's. Have to admit, I'm not super familiar with Guide, but these are some of the different options of things that you as a creator on Instagram can make and publish to your feed. So starting kind of with the most basic function, the first function of Instagram is just your regular posts. This is kind of a way for you to share your life and interests with the world in that format of pictures on your phone. These will be on your profile permanently unless you delete them. You always have the option to delete a post, but it's different from the story because it's there until you delete it. So I want to just go back one. I'm going to show you how I got to that particular screen. From my home page, I click on this plus sign, and that opened me into making a post. Just come through here real quick. So when I did that, I come to this screen here and it opens into the gallery on my phone. So every picture that I've taken with my phone is available to me to share on my Instagram. There's other places that you could look on your phone, but the main place where it's going to pop up are the images from the pictures that you've taken. And if you see here along the bottom, you have another opportunity. If I were to swipe on this little bubble here at the bottom, I could choose to do a story instead of a post. I could choose a reel. If you were to go through, you'd see IGTV, etc., different options of ways that you could post on Instagram. But the mainstay, the standard, the first option was just a simple regular post. And that's the first thing that comes up. And you see these are many pictures that are stored on my phone that I've taken at various times. When you select, you just tap on the image that you want to keep. And I chose this one here. And so then that popped up into the main section of the screen. I've said, yes, that's the one I want. If I wanted to do multiple images in a post, like that first one that we looked at from the Cleveland scene, I would tap on this little bubble here, and it's maybe not so clear quite in this picture, but it's a sort of square on another square, and that's indicating that you want to make a post with multiple images. So if you tapped on that, you would have little bubbles would appear in the corners of all the pictures from your gallery, and you could choose 1, 2, 3, 4, however many you wanted. And you can choose the order that you want them to go in. Once you're satisfied that you have the image or images that you want to post, you click on this little blue arrow up here in the right-hand corner. And then this is where you come, in my opinion, this is where the sort of fun is, the magic is on Instagram. I can take a picture that I took with my regular Galaxy S9 camera, and now I can add, there's probably about 15 different filters. You would swipe along this row and you'll see all the different type of filters that you can put over it. So it's my image that I took, but I can manipulate it to change the color saturation and the brightness or the darkness, or they have options to give it a sort of vignette effect to have like that, you know, darker around the edge. This little wand here at the top lets you decide how deep or light you want that filter effect to be. So it's a little slider bar across. Once you tap on that, that lets you go up or down to pick the saturation of the filter. Next to, just wanna, on my screen, I have a little bar from the Zoom. I don't know if that was blocking for y'all to see the bottom. It was just covering up for me. If you were to tap on edit, you would then have even more features of ways to manipulate the image that you have. You could tilt it, you could flip it, so it's the reverse image. There's tons and tons of options. So there's all kinds of things that you can do to have your own little photo lab here and doctor up your photo and create it to be the way that how you want it to look for your end presentation. So you select all the ways that you want to manipulate the photo, and once you're satisfied with that, again, you hit your blue arrow here up in the upper right-hand corner to go to your next screen. There we go. This is the opportunity for you to add some wording to your post. You can pick a location. Instagram knows where I've posted from before. Whenever I put a picture up, I always try to say like where I was in the world at the time, where that picture came from, that image came from. So it's giving me some prefab guesses that it thinks I might want to choose from. If I just tap on add location, then I could type in the one that I want. Maybe I was in Lyndhurst, so that one didn't pop up straight away and I want to put in Lyndhurst. This is your section to tag people. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You could also write something. You may want to talk about the day that you had at the beach when you were at the lake. You may want to, whatever, you know, social media posts, anything is kind of fair game of what you want to add for your content there. You could, this is also the place where you would add your hashtags. So putting in, oftentimes when I take a picture of the lake, I'll put hashtag Lake Erie. Anyone who follows that hashtag will see my image that I took of Lake Erie. So that's one of many. The hashtags are endless and could be anything that you want it to be. You could tether this post to also show up on Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr, and you would just tap on that little button there and it would slide over, and then that would, it would also post there. When you're satisfied with all of your wording, you'll tap on the little sort of blue check up here in the upper right-hand corner, and then to your main home page. And I want to draw your attention, you'll see finishing up will be appearing here, and it's sort of grayscale like that. It's not a full color image. And then once it's done, you'll see it populate into the feed. So that's a post. Instagram is kind of based around the concept of likes or views. This is a way that postings go viral, as it were, by having, oh, I apologize, I've misspelled who's here. I apologize. That threw me for a minute, sorry. Instagram has recently added a new feature where they are just, you can change away from having likes to just having views. So maybe it's not such a game of like, oh, how many likes do I have? Who likes me? But just seeing like how many people have viewed your content, regardless of whether they, said that they liked it or not. So that's likes and views, and you can kind of, let people know that you appreciate what they've posted by either tapping on the heart below the image or double tapping directly on it, and that will just activate the little heart there. This is someone that I follow. I think her illustration is super cute. So that's just a example of liking. I want to draw your attention. Every post that's on Instagram, once again, has the overflow menu. And this overflow menu is specific to this account, this posting. And if I tap on that overflow menu for this post, this is what comes up. And you have a few options here. You could hide someone's content from your feed, and that would enable you to still follow someone but not see what they post. You could turn on notifications. You could copy a link and put it somewhere else. You could share it with someone. You could unfollow this poster. Sometimes someone may put up some content that you think is offensive, and you could report it to Instagram. All those things can be done through that overflow menu on a given post. So this is about this creator and this content. Sort of associated with likes are your own little like button at the top of your feed here. They call this activity, but this shows you who's been active on your posting. So this can be things that you post, and it can also be on comments that you make. So if anyone likes something that you posted, I have a couple of people here like some of my images that I put up. And when I open up the app, if there's a new one, there'll be a little red indicator on this heart for me, and I'll know that someone's put activity on something that I posted. If I made a comment and someone liked my comment, or maybe someone didn't like my comment and they had something else they wanted to say about it, all that would show here in my activity. So that's a sort of tangentially related to likes, but I wanted to throw it in here because it's through the heart symbol, but it's the difference. The one down here underneath someone's post is directly related to their post. This one at the top is like part of your main control panel. That's about your activity, the people who've interacted with your content. So that's the difference. Stories. These are the posts that stay up just for 24 hours. As I was mentioning before, all the people that I follow that have a current story will have this reddish circle around their story. So if I want to see what my friend Leah is doing, I can tap on her circle and then it will come up. This was another just sort of new image on my feed of the Browns there getting ready for their season. I clicked on Community Partnership on Aging to show you some of our story from today. So this is a message that will just be up for 24 hours, and it's talking about who we serve. And you see over 21,835 residents age 60 plus live in the CPA service area. So that's our 6 service cities. 27% live between 100 and 200% of the federal poverty line. So that's a lot of folks. And we've got some significant poverty ranging from 2.8% to 13.5% in our 6 cities. And almost half of our older adults are 60 to 69 years old. So just some interesting statistics about who CPA is serving. So when I tap, and I'll mention this too, you don't just have these 4, right? Those are the main ones on the screen at a given time. But if you were to swipe left across that row, more people would pop up. And that's where I found CPAs posting from today as I scrolled through the story row on my homepage. I have an opportunity to interact with CPA by sending them a message. So if I click into the little send a message bubble and just tapping on that, a screen that looks something like this will come up. You can send a quick reaction, one of these emojis, and they'll kind of come up like bubbles, a bunch of the same image rising up the screen. Or you could choose to actually write something or send, if you wanted to send a different emoji that's on your phone, then you would click into this next send message bubble and go on ahead and type from your screen, just like you would for a text. And I'm showing that this was a different posting my friend Melanie had up. And so I just indicated with my 3 little hearts that I liked her story edition. So that's what a story is and how you can kind of comment on it. I'm not going to show this tutorial video. I put it in there because I figured if people wanted to access the slides presentation and they wanted to get a tutorial on Reels, they could do that. Reels are kind of like, they're basically Instagram, and IG is short for Instagram. They're basically Instagram's answer to TikTok. TikTok is another app that shows short video clips that's become wildly popular with people of all ages. And they're just sort of funny, way to pass time. People who are just regular folks like you and me have an opportunity to go viral around the world with a little clip that they've made, and it's just been a runaway success. So of course, Instagram wanted to kind of get in on that game because it's such a good fit for their platform as well. And you'll kind of have these reels that go just absolutely go viral. And this video to the right is just an example of that. I'm just going to play it briefly. This clip of these people here in this little dance group has gone wild on TikTok and on Reels. And that's the tutorial. So that's it. That's the little clip. It's like about 10 seconds long, and people do all kinds of things. People recreate it. So here you see this girl is kind of in her fashion, recreating the video. I'm going to jump to a little further in. So people will do that, like groups together, kind of reenact and set to the same music. And then a lot of times people will do this sort of a thing where they cut themselves into the video. I might, put a cap, whatever. But so that's sort of part of that viralness of a reel or a TikTok, is that someone makes it, it becomes very popular, and then other creators make it their own by sort of redoing it or adding to it with their own flavor. I think part of the success of it all is just that it's just regular people like you and me, and so they can, find a way to kind of famous on the internet. Search is another one of the features that you have from your sort of main menu here along the bottom of your screen. And there's a couple different functions. You can definitely get lost in search for quite some time. If any of you have been on Instagram, I'm sure you know. But again, from your home screen, here's just another photo that was on my home screen. I follow this hashtag sky sea sunset. And so I see all the pictures that get posted with that hashtag. And I click on search. And there's sort of 2 functions that happen. When I click on search, if I click into this top bar, it just always has a different suggestion of something that you could look for. And you see that's kind of in grayscale because it's just their automatic suggestion. But you could search for top hits on a topic. You could search for accounts. hashtags, or places. And sort of like once you just type something in here, everything's basically going to come up. If you want to get, specific that you're just looking for hashtags, you would click into tags. But yeah, whatever you type in there is going to populate on the screen. The other feature of search is that everything that happens on Instagram, just very similar to Facebook, is based on algorithms. Take a sip of my tea here. Excuse me. So anything that you've liked, Instagram takes a little note of that, and they try to send you more things that are similar to things that you've already liked, because it knows that you like that. And you can see, I like Baby Yoda. So I get, in my search, I get a lot of, excuse me, auto-populate of things related to Baby Yoda. Star Wars is also a common theme. It's sort of like once you like something, it sticks with you if you keep liking similar things over time. But this is just a fun way to kind of see content that you don't follow necessarily, so it wouldn't automatically be in your feed, but it's just things that you may be interested in. So it's every time you open it, it's different. And that's kind of a little rabbit hole to go down on Instagram. You can direct message people and video chat on Instagram. Direct messages are a private message to that person. Now, anyone can take a screenshot of anything on their phone. So you could, get what you send someone could ostensibly be put on the internet, but you're not on the platform putting it out for everyone to see. You're sending a private message to an individual person. So again, I came back to my home screen. Here we got Beckham and Landry. They're really gearing up for the Browns. But here at the bottom in my little row this is kind of the control of a post. And then also, this is another direct message here, this bubble with the line. But if I want to send someone a posting, I would click on this little arrow. And then, you know what, I apologize. This form of direct message, is based around this bubble up here. I apologize. So clicking on this direct message bubble, this next screen that comes up will populate with people that I interact with on Instagram, that I've sent messages to, that they've sent messages to me, people that I follow and that follow me. You see here that I have some requests. These are people that I don't follow. And so they don't have direct access to me necessarily to send me a message. So there's a request sort of waiting for me to say, like, do I want to have interaction, direct messaging with this person or not? But I clicked on, you guessed it, Community Partnership on Aging, to send a direct message. And then my history of interaction with Community Partnership came up. Just the way that stories disappear from the feed after 24 hours, they also disappear out of the messaging chain. So it says here, you reacted to their story, but we don't see their story anymore because it's gone after 24 hours. Today, when I saw the Who Does CPA Serve, I did a little quick response and I sent that little celebration horn quick response. So you still see that recorded there because that just happened within the 24 hours that the story was still up when I went to do this message. If it was tomorrow after the story timeline has expired, then it would just say similarly like this, you reacted to their story, but you wouldn't see what that story was. So I would click in my little message bubble and I would write whatever I wanted to write and send it. I wanted to point out here, you may wish to interact with someone that you don't follow and that they don't follow you. and LeBron James does not follow me. So I had two purposes in kind of bringing up the celebrity here, because I wanted to point out to you, when someone has a certain amount of fame or, you know, recognition, more broadly than just personal friends, the account gets to a certain point of having so many followers that it becomes verified. So you see here, when I put in LeBron James in my search query, all these different accounts came up. We've got LeBron King James, LeBron James 6, LeBron James hashtag, the real LeBron, Bronny World. And so many of them are indicating that they're fan pages. LeBron James Jr. fan page for Bronny World. So not even directly LeBron James, but LeBron James Jr. came up. So you see, you have to kind of sift through the feed. But some of them don't. Like this one says LeBron James, just as the user, but that's not LeBron James's official account. We know his verified true account is the one that has the blue check mark, the circle, the blue circle with the white check mark rather beside it. So King James, LeBron James, is LeBron James's verified Instagram account. And we see there's a second one here for the LeBron James Family Foundation, LJ Fam Foundation, and that has the blue circle with the white check mark. So those are legit LeBron James accounts that are verified from him. These other ones are fan pages. So just something to know. But so just for our pretend, let's say I want to message LeBron James. So I find him and I click on him and I go to his profile page. I see he's got 2,208 posts, 96.1 million followers, very popular on Instagram, and he's following 360 people. You see here that some of the people that I follow are following him, and it notes that. Cat Hart is someone I follow Cleveland.com, and several others that also follow LeBron. Click on and follow him if I wanted to, and I can also tap on the message box there, and I would get this screen where I could go ahead and tell LeBron that he's the GOAT, if I wanted. So I don't know on his end how that would come out, if it would look like back to this request, because we don't follow each other. I'm sure that he has some kind of screening system up on his wildly popular Instagram page, because he would just be inundated with messages all the time. But that's sort of how direct messaging works. And again, that's starting from up here from scratch, just wanting to send someone some kind of message. You can also share as a sort of DM, direct message function. You may see a post that you think someone will like. My son has a black cat, and sometimes I send him different little cat posts that I think he might enjoy. So this one is where your little triangle comes into play from underneath the post. Again, remember, when it's one of these three functions underneath a post, it's related to that post. So you're either liking it, commenting on it, or sharing it. So I click on the little triangle arrow, and this screen comes up. I can choose someone from my list of people that I want to share this post with, this little sort of meme. I could tap into the search bar and find someone who I haven't interacted with that I want to share it with. And I can also write a message. But one thing to note, you want to write your message before you send, if you want to send a message along with this post, or else you'll have to go back into the direct messaging function that's like above from your top row, the bubble with the messenger zigzag, and like go in again and send a message. So this way you can just do it sort of all at once, like, hey, this black cat is so cute. Whatever you want to say. You can also share by tagging someone. So again, just another post on Instagram. This young lady launched a clothing line, and I thought, hey, my friend Jared would be interested to see what this girl has done. So I want to draw attention the difference between sharing as a direct message and sharing as a tag. When you direct message share, the person who receives that just receives it to their personal account, and no one else knows that you sent them that meme or posting. If I go and tap into this comment bubble, that's a public feed underneath this post. And that's where that tag will appear. So just so you know that if you tag someone, that is publicly viewable. So I go ahead and I tap on the comment bubble. And then my line here for adding a comment comes up. And so I type in my friend's handle, which is Hey Jared Fox, after the @ sign. The @ is what creates that tag. If I just put in Hey Jared Fox, that would just write up like a post. But when I put the the @ sign in front of it, then that creates a sort of hyperlink. That's what a tag is. And so then I hit post, and then it shows up in the comment feed with his tag, Hey Jared Fox, and it'll also show up on his activity that he's been tagged, so he can then go and check out this post. That's another way to sort of let someone know about a post that you want to share with them. Tagging. Reiterating, comments are visible on Instagram, just the same way that they are on many, many other platforms. It can be tempting sometimes, at least I know it has been for me, to get sucked into a little comment war. I would advise against it because you probably won't like it the next day, but it happens. But generally, I try to keep my comments to an uplifting. I was curious about this picture, and I said, what is that? What are those little marks out there on the horizon? So I took 2 fingers and spread them across the screen, and that enlarged the picture. And when I did that, I saw that those are all horses, people on horseback out there on the water. So I liked it. And then I wanted to make a comment. So I clicked on the comment bubble. This came up, add a comment. I tapped on that. I put in these little emojis of a horse running, kind of looks like a dog on this screen, but those are actually the horses. I clicked on post. And then my little comment is, if you will, of my emojis of horses appears on the comment listing with that post. I could go back and remove my comment if I tapped on it, or any of these. They would sort of get highlighted and there'd be a little X to get out of that, or a trash can. So that's how that